if we ever loan someone money, it's a gift. You have to think of it as you gifted this to that person. And if you get it back from that person, great. If not, you get it back in other ways and you're blessed and life continues. But you can't look at it as I'm loaning this, because you never know what's going to happen.
Or I need it back.
Yeah.
Somebody will screw you over and you're like, where's your karma?
It's late. Can it show up already?
It's time. I've been chill, but it's been like a couple of years.
Welcome to the Limitless Tribe, where two badass women build businesses, chase dreams, and keep it way too real. I'm Kat.
And I'm Mel. We're the founders of Powerhouse Admins and the Limitless Tribe, and we're inviting you into the messy middle, the mindset shifts, and the CEO glow-ups we never see coming.
Now let's get into it.
Hi ladies, how are you? Today we're going to be talking about the Law of Reciprocity, what it is, and how to use it in your favor. The Law of Reciprocity sometimes is called the Law of Compensation. And it says that what you give, whether it's your energy, your effort, intention, integrity, your time, it always comes back to you. But not always from the same person, in the same timing, or in the same form. The universe doesn't keep receipts the way that humans do. And what it does is it balances energy, not transactions. So sometimes you'll want, like you gave your time to somebody and you expected that back for whatever reason, and you're waiting for this time back. It turns out you're not getting it. You feel like you're giving and you're not getting the same in return. But sometimes it comes in unexpected ways. So the key truth is that what's meant to return to you doesn't always come back the way you expect, but it does always come back to you.
I completely agree with that. I think that's a big thing. And I know that I have boundary issues, and like everyone's always like in my family asking me to do things, and my husband sometimes gets upset, and I always say, but I get it returned to me in other ways. Like I know that my family doesn't always return it exactly that way, but I feel like because I do things out of the goodness of my heart, and even if I'm like, again, but I do it and I do care that I'm doing it, and I feel like it's a good deed, I feel like I get in other ways in my life is abundant and things come to me and like fulfill me. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
That's awesome.
Right?
Still boundaries though.
Yeah, I still do need boundaries, but at least it's a good way to make me feel a little bit better about everything. So where we get stuck, right? So most people block this law without even realizing it. They get too attached to like who it should come from, right? So if I gave my time or my effort or money to this person should then give it right back to me, right? Or when it should come back. They have a time limit, like, oh, I did this now, I need this by this date, or else like it's not going to be, it's not good, you know, or they never paid me back in time. And how it should be repaid, right? So if I gave you money, you should give me money back. But that's not always the case. And we tell ourselves they owe me, it has to come from them, I can't move forward until this is resolved. But attachment turns flow into resistance, and we really can't control those things. A lot of times that money or whatever we did for someone or however we gave our time or energy comes in different ways. It doesn't always come back in that money that we gave. It comes back in maybe you get a bonus somewhere and now all of a sudden you're prepaid that way. So you really have to look at it as that and stop blocking yourself, because once you start saying like this person needs to give it back to me and controlling the outcome, you're really blocking yourself from receiving in other ways.
Yes. So I have a little story for you guys, a personal story. So a couple of years ago, after I was no longer in corporate, but before I started my business, I was adminning for someone, like a work from home admin, and I was making not a lot of money. Honestly, I calculated it and I don't remember the exact time, but I remember thinking this is what I made when I was like 22 years old or 24 years old. And I'm 40 at that time, or 39. And I'm like, my God, this is a huge like setback.
Yeah. And
I just wasn't making a ton of money, right? But I had planned this trip for my mom. She had always talked about going to San Andres. It's an island of Colombia, and she had always talked about it, never been. My mom is getting older. She just turned 80 this year. So I really wanted to take her before it was something she couldn't do anymore. So we planned for the trip, and it was my mom, my daughter, me. Somehow we connected. I had recently connected with a cousin of mine that had started traveling to South Florida, so I got to see her more often. And I don't know if we spoke about it, and she was like, oh, I'm down to go too. So her dad, and her brother came along too. So it was all of us. We got a shared Airbnb, like a apartment. It was really nice, like on the beach. And I paid for that, but we were going to split it. And then in the trip, you know, obviously they covered their costs and we covered ours. But they had agreed, like her and her brother had agreed that the brother was going to pay, I guess, the activities.
Okay.
So we did a bunch of activities there, and she would pay the hotel.
Okay.
Because, you know, they're covering it for their dad, just like we're covering it. I was covering it for my mom. So that was all good. We go on the trip. She hasn't paid me yet. By now, obviously, I've paid the whole thing. It was half and then the other half, right? So then we do the trip, and then she hasn't paid me back, and she's like, I'm so sorry. There was like a problem with the bank and something in the bank. I didn't know what the issue was, right? It's in Colombia, so I wasn't sure. Then the last day, they go get a little bit of groceries, like just juice and stuff for breakfast before we left. And I'm so dumb. They went to go get the stuff. I guess she left her purse or something, or her wallet. And I thought they were coming back before we left. So I even put like a couple extra money in her wallet that morning, because I felt like she was getting breakfast, and you know, I don't like people like covering me, you know.
No, your intentions were good. I get where you're coming from. You want to pay your,
So I was like, I'll put
thinking that she's going to repay you anyway, like for the other part.
Yeah, this was for breakfast. So she was
completely different thing.
And then they never came back. They like stayed, like, I guess, sightseeing, so we didn't get the juice. So I was like, oh, whatever, you know, it'll be a blessing for her. And then we come back, and time passes and passes and passes, and she never pays it. It was like $550, I think. And then I reach out to her. I'm like, hey, you know, when do you think you'll be able to send it? And at that time, even now, like, $500 is not going to break me, but $500 is not $10. You know, and I make a lot more now. But at that time, I needed it even more.
And it's also the principle.
Yes, that too. So it's the principle, and also that it's like family, and it's somebody that I liked. So it's, you know, more hurtful. And I reached out a couple of times, and eventually she just ghosted me. And she stopped responding, and I was like, well, you know, I kind of let it go. And at that time, I think that, I don't know what year that was. I might have been 22, maybe 2022. It was a year right before my business. And I didn't really understand the law of reciprocity yet. I do believe in karma, but I don't know if you've had this experience where sometimes somebody will screw you over, and you're like, where's your karma? It's late. Like,
can it show up already?
Like, it's time. I've been chill, but it's been like a couple of years. Like, can I get the so, and also my mom has a saying that says in Spanish, it says, no me alegro, pero siento un fresco.
Yes.
Like, I'm not happy that happened to them, but I feel a relief. So like, it's nice when you do get to see the karma happen. It feels like a little bit like a closure. So that's as far as I believed, right? But I didn't understand the law of reciprocity. So when she didn't pay me and just ghosted me, so now not only did I lose the $500, but I lost a relationship, because I feel like she could have been like, hey, can I pay you like $25 a month? So like, whatever it is, but I know it's coming back and she has good intentions.
Exactly.
That would have been fine. But it was the ghosting and like completely not caring that was really hurtful for me. And I tried to let it go, and I put it in the karma hands, but it was like still bothering me for a while. And eventually, like a little bit after that, I learned about the law of reciprocity. And then actually I learned it a good amount of time, like deeper into 23 or maybe even 24.
Yeah.
I don't know when I finally clicked, but when I clicked,
I think it was more in 2024.
Yeah, because
we talked about it.
Life was good now.
Yeah.
So I remember that when it finally clicked, I looked back and thinking, at the time that happened, I was in between like business, like kind of jobs, because the job I had just barely paid the bills. And I was with my husband, but I wasn't married. Like, I was in my old house. Like, and then now I was getting married to my husband soon. We were in the process of buying a house. I made much more than I was making at that time. The business was going well. Life had blessed me like in so many ways since that time.
Yeah.
And I realized that even though I didn't get the money back from that person, that's their karma, and that may show up in different ways. Obviously not for me, but it's going to show up maybe in different ways in their life, or how life treats them. And for me, I've already received my karma. Like, I lost $500 and the relationship, but life blessed me in so many beautiful
gained
ways.
So much more.
Yes. So, when you think back on that, you're going to realize that the universe repaid you. It just might not have been through the exact same person. And I always like to say too, like, even people that have that are bad with money, right? Not where you're just bad with money, but like you don't pay your bills or people. I feel like those people are never going to be really blessed with money.
I agree.
Because it's like a relationship too. So the way you respect and treat money, it's going to be that way back for you. So if somebody left me a debt, like at work or things like that, I always think that that person is going to struggle financially, or isn't going to really be in a good place. They might be showing off like they are, but they probably have a lot of debt and things like that on the background, because when you respect money and when you respect that relationship, you wouldn't do that to people.
Yeah, I think we have a couple of people in our lives that, like, one that is a family member that I've lent money to and that has, never repaid me. And Paul has a friend that he lent money to, and the same thing, like, they did not repay him. They said he reached out to them, never happened, right? And this person acts like he acts like he has a ton of money, right? And like everything is,
the worst.
But then now, like, he acts like it's like nothing ever happened, right? But in the back of your head, you know that you owe me money for something. But it got to the, like, he told me one time, he said, if we ever loan someone money, it's a gift. You have to think of it as you gifted this to that person, and if you get it back from that person, great. If not, you get it back in other ways and you're blessed and life continues. But you can't look at it as I'm loaning this, because you never know what's going to happen.
Or I need it back.
Yeah.
Which goes to my second point. I really think that this law of reciprocity is also like forgiveness.
Yeah.
So do it if you can afford to gift it, but you can't gift money you need.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, if you don't have it, then that's it, because don't expect to get it in return.
Yes.
Because you might not.
And like, to me, in my situation, that person never reached back out to me ever again.
And that's crazy.
And
it's sad because it's family too on top of it,
Yeah.
and you like that
them.
person.
It's not even the family. It's that I like them.
You like
because
them.
To me, family is who you choose. Sometimes, it's not the people in your family, and sometimes it is. But I think that if somebody does screw you over, right? Like, maybe it's not just a loaning money. Somebody screwed you over. You could forgive them, and you could know that the universe is going to repay this to you in multiple ways, and you'll see the blessings come. But it doesn't mean you have to let that person back in your life, depending on the situation.
Yeah, you could have boundaries still and not let them in.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain things.
It's also a thing of respect, right? Like, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful, very disrespectful, if someone doesn't at least even acknowledge that they did this to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it depends on the scenario. Maybe you let a little bit and then they just pretend that it never happened, and you can let that go and you keep the friendship. But if it's something worse, just because you're blessed back or because you forgive doesn't mean you need to open it up, because that person a lot of times is going to redo the same thing.
Yeah. And when you said, like, the people not being that they are not good with money, or they're never going to have that money relationship, both people that I was talking to about, that's what I was trying to say, they are both not good with money. Like, you can tell and we know, like, one of them acts like he has money, but we know he doesn't. The other one they're always having financial struggles. So I feel like it does show, like, when you're that type of person that doesn't repay or doesn't do these things, you're never going to be abundant with that or have that respect for the money itself.
100% agree with that. And even with last scenario, like, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but even with work scenarios, like, people that have screwed me over, those people are never doing better than me. Like, that's not how you get ahead long term in business or career or anything, because you really get ahead through relationships. So if you screw people over, you might get ahead here, but then you're stuck or you go backwards. So those people, when I look back at them years later, they're still in the same spot they were when they screwed me over. So
it's true. It's very true. And on that note, this law also applies to betrayal and loss, right? So the same law applies when you hurt someone, right? Or if you have like if you have a business partner and you act unfairly to that person, if a coworker undermines you or does something to hurt you, or they aren't respectful, like any situation that ends painfully, this law of reciprocity, it handles all of that. So it deals with everything from money to just like your respect and relationship with somebody. So yes, like that person might win in the short term because they got over on you, or they made some money now all of a sudden that they didn't have, but they're not going to win in the long term because, you can't operate from a point of lack or fear of harm. You're not going to reciprocate that love or that abundance or anything when you're out intentionally hurting people. It's just not going to happen. So you want to make sure that you understand that, like, if someone hurts you, if someone's acting unfairly to you, anything, you don't need to do anything to go out of your way to hurt that person back or to act the same way, or you don't even need to be negative and internalize it and make it take you down, because you're going to get that abundance back no matter what. That's what the law of reciprocity is. Like, you did good will come back to you. In some way, shape, or form, your life is going to become more abundant, and something's going to happen that's going to make everything even again for you. For that person, you might not see the, issue or whatever the karma is at that time, but it's going to happen to them, because they're just never going to either have that financial freedom or that respect from others. Like, something at some point, they're not going to move up at work. Their business isn't going to take off. Something will happen to reciprocate what they did.
Yeah, agreed. There's this show, and I can't remember the whole name. I'm watching it now. It's a really old show. Something Earl. You probably...
Sorry.
I will put it in the notes here. I have to look it up. Me and my husband are watching it now, but it's a really old show and I haven't seen it. And it's this like really broke guy, and he's terrible. Like, he robs people, and he, does just a bunch of just terrible. He's a nice guy, but he's just does a lot of bad things, right? And then he, I don't know what he did. He did something nice, and then he won a lotto, like 100K. Oh no, he learned about karma on he saw something about karma, and he did something nice, and then he got 100K in a lottery. So now he did a list of all the people he's wronged, and the whole show is him making it up to these people, and it's funny.
That's hilarious, just because he wants to get good karma back, continue getting good karma back.
He does good things.
Yeah.
Like, good things.
And I do agree with that, right? Like, I also want to make note, like, when people hurt me, I don't want to ever feel like, oh, they deserve something bad, because I feel like that's going to come back to me too. Like, so I feel like if you just come from a place of like, it is what it is. My life is gonna continue, and it's gonna be good, and whatever happens to them, like, that's not my problem, and I'm not intentionally trying to like get the universe to be mean to them. It just happens naturally.
Yeah, well, I usually feel more like sorry.
I throw that out. I'm like, not evil, like sitting there with like, I know, not sitting there with a voodoo doll sticking pins in it, like, let this happen.
No, then that's yours.
Exactly, yes. That's your bad karma too now.
No, I more feel usually like sorry for them.
Yes.
Like, I'm so sorry that person lives that way, because I know that doesn't bring good things,
Yeah.
So, and I'm sorry that they don't see it.
Exactly.
So yeah. But, and it's not easy to practice, and I really just learned this very recently, but it was very freeing with that situation I had with the cousin, because it was really bugging me. And, you know, I don't know what their life is like now, but I would imagine that you know, I don't know. I can't imagine that it would be that amazing, because when you do something like that, you probably do more things like that.
Oh yes,
Like how you do one thing is how you do everything.
If you treat one person one way and you're used to that, and like that breakup of that relationship didn't mean enough to her to like not even pay you back, but just to reach out to you and say, hey, this is what's going on. Because even if it's not the money, like I need some time, or even paying you back like literally $10 a week, a month, like it means this much to me.
Yeah.
Our relationship, that I'm willing, you know, would you accept this? Then that person doesn't, in my mind, they're not going to care about other relationships, so they're just going to continue that pattern, and that's lonely for them at the end, I feel. That's
yes. So if something like this happens to you, release the source of who you want this to come back from. Stay aligned with your values. Continue giving without self-abandonment, and I think that's where the boundaries come in. Trust that balance is going to be restored, and know that letting go isn't weakness. It's actually like a weight off your shoulders, and it's solidifying like your values and how you choose to live, and it's confidence that you don't need to chase what's already yours energetically. You know, I always think that there is you know how sometimes then there's different versions of that, like voodoo dolls and people that actually do a lot of this stuff where people try to hurt you. And I do believe that that's real, but I feel like I feel so strong in who I choose to be and how I try to carry myself, and how do I try to interact with people, and my values, that I feel like that's almost like a shield.
I agree. I think that there's a lot of people focus on like the evil eye, right? And like people with bad intentions, oh, they're up against you and they, you know, do whatever to hurt you. But if you truly believe like you're okay and like that can't hurt you, I don't feel like it does anything to you.
Yeah, I feel like people could have
but I don't want to give it any energy.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I feel like you're okay.
Yeah, I think you have to be like strong in who you are and really feel good about who you are, you know?
Yep.
I like how the evil eye looks. My nails actually
I do too. I love the evil eye.
But I don't necessarily, I believe that people do that, but I don't think that it would really affect me. Maybe there's an extreme situation, but I feel like divinely protected. I don't know, like I feel like I try to be a good person.
I think a lot of people though, they like are really like, oh my God, the evil eye and this, and I get it, but I do agree, like it does exist, but I get what you're saying. Like I don't think, I think I'm just so strongly about it's not going to affect me. Like, and I always try to tell myself that too. Like if someone says something, I'm like, don't bring that around me. Like I'm good. Don't even say that.
And I think you're like giving it power that it can.
Yeah.
And with the things that happen to you, right? Doesn't mean that nothing would ever happen to you, because I have had bad things happen to me, and people that did do bad things. But I'm confident that it'll like I'll trip, but I'm not staying down. You know? Like I might have a fall, but like I'm coming back, and I'm strong enough to come back. So think of it that way.
I agree. So the reframe, right? You're not meant to micromanage how life repays you. You can't pick and choose how like good things are going to happen to you, or how you're going to get the money back, or the respect, or anything like that. You just need to trust the process. You have to stay open, stay regulated, stay in your flow. The universe is not going to miss anything. It's never going to shortchange you. It's never going to hurt you. It's never going to abandon you, right? The universe is going to keep everything in line, and you just have to trust that. And like we were saying with the whole evil eye thing, like you just need to trust that your energy is good, that you're a good person, and that good things are going to always come to you, no matter what, as long as you have every intention of living in the right way. That's all.
So every time you release the need for repayment, and you stop wanting it to like look a certain way, you're going to actually create space for something bigger to arrive. Because it's like, think of it like you're limiting yourself. I only want to receive these five. If I had to choose now between $500 and all of the blessings I've had, that some I imagined and I worked for, some I didn't even imagine, you know, some came out even better than I wished for. I'd always pick these blessings over getting repaid in the exact same amount by the same person. So let go of that. And when you let go, it's actually going to make room. It's not going to limit you or take anything away from you. What's meant for you will always find you, even multiplied.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. Life is so much better than what we can predict or what we think. And sometimes we just focus so much on that little, like, oh, they owe me $200. I can't believe that and like, then all of a sudden you're getting like, 7 clients and you're like, oh, it's okay. Or,
you can let go of the losing one.
Exactly.
Because we gained 7. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's that reframe really does help, and it puts it in such a bigger perspective than you ever thought. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who is struggling to let go. And please follow our podcast and leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it. We do put a lot of light and love and just happiness into doing this and sharing these tips and, this information with you guys. So always remember that you're supported even when it doesn't look the way you expected. Our next episode is going to be on human design and how it works. I know Cathy's like so excited about this one, but how it works in your favor and to help you understand who you are and how you really work internally. It's your roadmap of life. So until next time, your life, your rules, stay limitless.